Real Cajun food. You need to visit Thibodeau's Cajun Cooking, 107 North Cedar Ridge in Duncanville, Texas. Some of the best Cajun food in town. They also have live music as well. Great spot to bring your friends and your family. Thibodeau's Cajun Cooking.
Well, good. Welcome back. We're just so excited to be back. This has been a spirited, powerful, exciting, informational, transformational.
I'm tired. To be honest, I wasn't built for this. I don't know. 2 hours to get this conversation.
No, this has been 4 hours because we started at 11 over there at 11:97. Okay. Hey, remember that on February the 9th, Chris Howell, we're going to be having In the Huddle. If you missed the first In the Huddle, whoa, that was just powerful. And we're coming back again. This time it's going to be at City Hall, Dallas City Hall. It's going to be in the flag room. And the subject matter we're going to be talking about is manhood and social responsibility. Now, in the huddle is this. Chris Howell said, and all of us were discussing, he said, we need to just kind of, we're in the middle of the game, we're in the midst of the game. We're not losing, but we're not winning, and we need to change, or to make sure our strategy is on point. We need to make sure that we know what we're doing, that we're on the same page and at the same stage. So we call it a huddle. And we're in this huddle, we talked about stuff that men deal with, issues that men are exposed to and find themselves daily and consistently dealing with. So this second In the Huddle is taking place that weekend of leading into Valentine's Day. And manhood and social responsibility. It's going to be good. It's going to be gooder than good. So you want to make sure you get there. There's no cost. It's free admission, but
you have to register.
He's asking that you register. So registration's at chrishowellfoundation.org. Hey, be there. Last time there was about 120 men. This one there's no cost. It's going to be good. So make sure that you register and come.
All right, guys. And as a matter of fact, what we want to do is segment, since we started and kind of opened the doorway up to about leadership. Part of the things that we talk about on Thursdays is to equipping ourselves from a leadership aspect. And that way we'd love to, I think it's a great opportunity for us to kind of segue into that leadership aspect, because Benny brought up a great conversation, and we talked about candor. And that's part of what we know from what we've studied is there's 4 C's of leadership. The 4 C's of leadership that I'll segue into is, as part of it, is the candor, it's compromise, it's courage, and it's contentment. Now I want to speak first about this candor, because that is kind of that conversation of truth, right? But I also want to qualify that and have a caveat there that says it's the way that we deliver truth as well. We got to know our audience. We got to know the sensitivities of it. And sometimes men, even women as well, can deliver a truth. Truth is truth, and we can't deny it, but it's the way that we deliver it. I want to make sure that we get into where we uplift and not beat down. Uplift, not beat down. It's also how we critique, but not criticize. That we can critique because it's all about how we receive information. And that's part of the, especially being in a pastor's position, is when you're in that, we got to make sure from the very stance I take, the same criticism that I'm giving is the same criticism that I might be taking, or critiquing rather. That it's me first. Some people use the Bible as a sword. They come out here and I want a weapon to kind of. The first use of a Bible is always as a mirror. As a mirror. When I look at scripture, or I'm reading and delivering a message, I look for me in that message first. That's one of the very beautiful things about what Christ did for us. He came down and he sat and walked in our shoes. What happens in that space is that there's a spirit of empathy and connectivity that goes in there. And so when I'm delivering, even though it may be a truth and it's harsh, I can deliver it where it uplifts you and builds you and doesn't tear you down. I can do it and tell you as a critique and not as a criticism, so you're left defeated. And that part of candor from a leadership aspect is what we got. Some people can go hard. Now, I got a relationship with Benny, a little bit different from everybody else. I know at the core of that relationship, he loved me. But when I tell you this bald-headed brother can be mean and talk to me a little tough, but he know I can handle it.
Then he back up and be
right.
A little bit.
One of the things that Now, one of the things that I heard Coach Jimmy Johnson say about when he was coaching the Cowboys, he said, "I don't coach everybody the same." He said, "I teach and I coach everybody different," because he said, "I don't have to get in and Michael Irvin's butt." He said he comes in and gives me 100% on practice, and I know how he's gonna show up. He said, so I don't have to go at them like that. But some people come in lackadaisical. And so it changes up. He said, I got to coach a little bit different way. And the only thing I'm suggesting on this candor is delivering truth, what we have to do with one another, but it's rooted in love. And if you look at the 16 characters of love, patient, kind, don't keep records of wrong, it's long suffering, it's not envious. I can go on and on. So sometimes that 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7, right? When you look at it, there's 16 attributes of love, and all of that we can manifest through our candor when we delivering a truthful message to somebody that we love. So that's the only thing I want to make sure we do it from a leadership aspect, is to know your audience and to deliver it and root it foundationally in love.
So that segues perfect into the next C, which is compromise. You know, compromise, if you're really going to be effective in your leadership, you really have to understand the science of compromise. You know, one thing as men we have to really be able to do, and that's really find a way to get rid of the disease of being right. You know, just being right at all costs. No matter what, I gotta be right.
At the cost of a relationship too.
At the cost of a relationship, because I have to be right. Now, the more in perils that your life is, the hardest for you to get rid of having to be right all the time, because you have a strong sense of insecurity because your life's not working. So you can't take input. So the only thing is, you don't want to be, you have to look in the mirror and accept that everything around you is wrong, all your decisions